We're Dawn and Jeremy, and this is the story of how we took a 1985 Nissan 720 Vanguard Motorhome and turned it into what you see on the road today. Stick around as we go through the parts of our story and the journey that we went through to get to where we are today. Okay, so this isn't Turtle, but this was the inspiration for Turtle. My aunt had this cute little motorhome that she purchased a few years ago, and we absolutely loved it and wanted to get something of this size for ourselves. Our wish list was to have it be a motorhome. It would be small enough to fit in our backyard. I really wanted a washroom, and we were hoping to find something that had a layout that would fit our needs. So in the spring of 2019, we started looking pretty seriously at getting a motorhome. So we scoured Facebook Marketplace, and we also checked Kijiji frequently. And anytime these types of motorhomes came up, they would be gone within a few days. So it was really hard. So when we found one up in Lac St. Anne, we jumped on it and started driving on a Friday after work to get there to look at this motorhome. So when we arrived, we really liked the body of the motorhome. The inside looked like it had a lot of potential. However, we took it for a test drive and we knew that the engine was going to need a lot of work. This was the next morning. We gotten home at 3 a.m. super tired, and we had an average speed of about 70 kilometers an hour in the motorhome. I was following in Jeremy's van. I remember thinking I wanted to call it Mystic Gypsy, which I'm glad we didn't now, but once I started following it, I was like, it's a turtle. So that's where the name came from.
Go inside, and there's a lot of cleaning that needs to happen. So I am gutting it today, and we're gonna get it as clean as we possibly can, so we can start making it look better. And right now there's an air freshener right there. Smells like cherry and mold, so we want to fix that.
It looked pretty cute and cleaned up well for appearances, but the smell of mold still lingered. Our investigation into where it was coming from quickly turned into this. As we went through, we found the floor of the upper bunk was rotted and completely water soaked, so we had to demolish the whole thing. So apparently these leaks are really common in older RVs that have these front bunk windows. So just be aware if you are looking at them to pull up the mattresses and have a look at what's going on underneath of them. We did most of the work, and by we I mean Jeremy. The only thing he got custom made were those rounded edges there. They were made by General Woodworks here in Calgary. We used this silver board insulation as it had more structure to it, and it held the wall rigid.
Okay, so Jeremy's been doing the wiring today, and now I have just made and cut all these, which doesn't seem that amazing till you know that I actually had to notch all of them to go around that board, that wire.
So these were 1x2s that we couldn't buy anywhere, so we actually had to buy larger pieces of wood and take them out to my dad's house and use his table saw to cut them all down to size. We saved all of our old pieces as patterns so that we would have the correct measurements for the new ones we were making. So all of the wood here that you're seeing, that's the 1x8 thickness, came from Windsor plywood. We had to go to a more of a specialized store than just a regular Home Depot to buy these things. So Jeremy's now working on the bottom. That'll be on the underside, outside of the vehicle. We found the aluminum pattern sheet at Lone Pine RV in Airdrie. This is the underside of what will become the inside of the bunk. We then used no more nails and attached this sheet with staples, and then it got a staining with varathane there. The Mow sander came in handy as some of our walls, we had made them a little bit larger and had to reshape them to fit before we could attach the bottom of the bunk here, which you'll see Jeremy doing right now.
That sounded promising. Yay! Progress!
We then used a product called Luna, like Luna board, and that is a flexible type of plywood that's super thin. It comes in two directions. You can see where Jeremy has framed out the window here so that when he does go to reinsert the window, it has a place that it can actually fit. So right now he's just checking to see his cuts are correct. I partially scored the silver board here on the front side of it so that it would bend easily around the curve on the front of the bunk there. So this was easy for Jeremy to access the wiring to the lights, so he ordered new lights, and this is the first time he was able to attach them and try them out, and they worked. So that was kind of an exciting night for us.
So I know it doesn't look like much, but I have cleaned this area. You can't see, but this is just water. But then it comes over here, and I gotta clean all the silicone off of this, the butyl tape off of here, and off of here. So it looks like this.
So here's just some shots of the siding as it got put back on after it had been all cleaned and yeah, reattached. So this is Jeremy using the Dicor seal tape roof repair tape. I'm not sure where you can find it now, but it is amazing. It's waterproof, and it's definitely a useful product when you're doing a sealing job like this on the corners of your RV. This was the fun part, is putting the windows back in, except for cleaning the old butyl tape off the windows. That took a bit of scraping, and then adding the new butyl tape made it look so much better. And then here Jeremy's just attaching the windows by screwing the inside of the frames in right now.
Do you want me to grab it? Oh, okay.
And then here's a photo of the windows installed. It's really starting to come back together at this point. So Jeremy used this polyurethane pro-grade metal wood DAP to attach the cab and the bunk, so there was no gaps in between them. And then the last thing we did before sealing any more things in was to do a water test to make sure everything was sealed tightly. Once that looked good, Jeremy began applying a roof sealant over the Dicor tape. I painted the interior Luna board with an all-weather paint. I bought this 2x6 board and stained it and varnished it. Its purpose is to hold the mattress and replace the original padding. We used some wooden buttons to cover our drilled holes. We were really happy with how it looked at this point, so we decided to have a custom mattress made from a company called Sleep Boutique here in Calgary. A 3/4 mattress probably would have worked, but we know this one fits perfectly in this spot. And there you have it. That's how we did our over cab bunk renovation, and we hope you liked it. The bedding here was bought from Amazon if you're interested. Thanks for watching.
no sense.